so let me go to number 3. So for some reason I skipped this in the other section. I don't know why, but okay. So number 3, we have S then not S or X. Okay, and we got to calculate this. Okay, so there are 2 different statement constants, S and X. Okay, so that means there's going to be 4 possible combinations of truth values for S and X. Both true, this one true, that one false, vice versa, or both could be false. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's calculate the truth value of this thing for all these combinations. Okay. So line 1, S is true. So not S would be what?
False.
But not false is what?
True.
So right here, this would be true, okay? And X on this line is what? True. So now we have to calculate true or true, which is what?
True.
Yeah, look at line 1, true or true is true, so I calculated that. And S is true right here, so the final calculation, this is the main logical operator. True, or wait, yeah, true, then true. That's line 1. Look under the conditional, and it's what?
Sure, true.
Right. So we figured out this line. Okay. So it's true on line 1. Okay. Let's go to line 2. S is true, so not S would be false, but not false would be what? True. So we know this part is true. X here is false, so we have to do this or. True or false, look at line 2, go over to the or, and then we discovered it's what?
True.
True. So we calculated that. So our final calculation is S then true, and S here is true. So we have true, then true, line 1. Look at the conditional, and the answer is
True.
true. Okay. Okay, let's do line 3. Here, S is false, so not S is true, and not true is false, okay? So double negations cancel themselves out. X on line 3 is true, so what we have is false or true, which is, say true, true, okay? And on this line, S is false, so our final calculation is false, then true, which is true, okay? So we calculated line 3 so far, everything is true, so it looks like we're on our way to a tautology, okay? So here, S will be false, okay. S is false, so not S is true, but not true is false. And X on this line is false, so we have false or false, which is false. So our final calculation is false, then false, which is true. So this statement is true for every possible combination of truth values for S and X. Okay? So if we were going to classify, we'd say what kind of statement is it? Tautology. Right. Okay. Now, I need to look for, okay, so now I want to do number 7. Okay. number 7, we have this statement. We have H, then I, then J, if and only if not H or, and then it says I, then J. I, then J, close that and close that. So we gotta calculate the truth value for this thing. The main operator is this biconditional. So that's where our final answer would be. And how many statements, constants do we have? And let's remember we write them down in alphabetical order. That's our convention. So we have H's, we have I's, and we have J's. Okay. But now we need to come up with all the possible combinations of truth values for 3 statement constants, okay? And so how many combinations are there? That's our first question, okay? And there is a formula, okay? So the number of lines or interpretations or combinations is equal to 2 to the nth, where n is equal to the number of statement constants. Okay, how many statement constants do we have? 1, 2, 3. So how many lines will we need? 2 to the 3rd, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. We need 8 lines. Okay, so we're going to have to do 8 lines worth of calculations. So let's make 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. But now we have to fill these in such a way that we get all the combinations, okay? And so I'm going to teach you a rote way to fill this in, okay? First of all, we listed them in alphabetical order. That way everybody's chart's going to be the same. I want you to start on the rightmost, and I want you to rotate between true and false as you go down. True, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. Okay. So now until we run out of lines. Now we're going over to H. And when we move over, we double the pattern. So instead of 1 true, we're going to do 2 trues, 2 falses, and rotate. Okay? So now I'm going to go true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false. Okay? So when I move over one more time, I'm going to double the pattern again. So how many trues am I going to have?
4.
4, followed by 4 falses. So true, 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 false, 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 false. If you follow that pattern, you will get all the possible combinations. Everybody understand that, okay? Now, some math nerds might notice something. Let's suppose that t is equal to 0 and f is equal to 1, okay? So what you might not realize is we're counting in binary. Line 1 is 0, 0, 0, and line 2 is 0, 0, 1, line 3 is 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Counting in binary. Okay, if that confused you or whatnot, doesn't matter. Just do that. Okay? Or we're counting in binary. Okay. All right. So now we gotta crunch this out, And on line 1, we're assuming that they're all true, okay? So let me start on the innermost brackets here. True then, true is true. And H is true, so I have true then true, which is what? True. And I'm going to cross those out because those are intermediate calculations. So the left-hand side of the biconditional is true. Now I have to calculate over here. H is true, so not H would be false. And now in here I've got true then true, which is true. So the last calculation is false or true, which is true. Okay. So I now calculated the truth value of the right-hand side of the biconditional. And the final thing to do is this, true if and only if true, which is true. Okay? And so this will turn out to be a tautology. Okay? All right, so we calculated line 1, so now we're going to do line 2, or more precisely, interpretation 2, where we assume H and I are true, but J is false, and calculate. Okay, so H is true, and then I have I, then J. And it's true, then false. If we look it up, that's case 2, and I see this is the one time it's false. And now I'm going to do this calculation, true, then false, and that I know is false. So I figured out the left-hand side of the biconditional is false. Let's go over here. H is true, so not H would be false, but now I have to calculate this stuff. I is true, J is false, that is false. So I'm left with false or false, which is false. And so my final calculation is this, false if and only if false. And if we look up that on case 4, under the biconditional, we see that it is true. So we now figured out for the interpretation 2, this is true. So now we're switching to interpretation 3. Here H is true, I is false, and J is true. False then true is true, and true then